Shiny hunting became completely broken on the Switch 2 thanks to a massive increase in the amount of Pokemon that spawn at any given time. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity for me to go get a shiny of every single starter Pokemon in the Indigo Disc. This ended up being the single best shiny hunt I've ever done, and somehow, simultaneously, the single worst and longest hunt I've ever done too. I started out by hunting for Bulbasaur. It's the very first Pokemon to show up in the Pokedex, so it felt fitting for it to be the very first starter to hunt for. I was worried about this one at first, since there were lots of other Pokemon that spawn around it, and on top of that, I thought it would blend in and be really hard to spot with a green background. There was also this one strange phenomenon in particular that had me worried about being able to get the encounter I wanted, but hey, I don't judge. However, after exploring around a little more, I found a couple spots that were significantly better for getting Bulbasaur. I was also convinced that I wouldn't be able to spot the shiny due to its relatively minor change in color. But literally immediately after making my second Sparkling Power sandwich, the shiny Bulbasaur showed up and did so much more clearly than I had initially worried about. Oh my gosh, that was instant. That was instant. It just wanted the streak to end. Next up was Snivy, another one I was worried about due to it being only a slightly different shade of green, just like Bulbasaur. But unlike Bulbasaur, this one wasn't one that I could isolate, as I'd have to fight through all the Exeggutor and Sawsbuck that were even more common. This had a chance of being one of the more difficult ones for the entire— I feel so lucky. Oh my gosh, this is— okay. Okay, it took a second, but we're off, we're rolling now. So somehow I ended up finding this little guy after only about 5 minutes, which had me feeling extremely lucky and extremely confident that I might be able to finish this whole thing in just a few hours. Turtwig was up next, and if you haven't noticed by now, I was doing this by type, starting with the grass types. Turtwig started out giving me a little trouble as I felt like there weren't all that many spawns of him on this little island I had picked out. I thought maybe they knew I was hunting for them or something. Maybe I was scaring them. Hello everybody. Don't mind me, I'm just hanging out. I'm not here to hunt any one of you down. Hunting is not the word I would say. I would not say I'm hunting. But after spotting bunches of them up on this cliff, I decided to stick around there instead. I guess these guys weren't as scared as those first scaredy turtles. It didn't seem much better at first, but right after making my next grass Sparkling Power sandwich, the next shiny showed up just like what happened with Bulbasaur. We have a track record of finding shinies on the edges of cliffs, so— oop. What did I tell you? Shiny on the edge of the cliff. There we go. Shiny Turtwig. Shiny number 3. So next up was Trico, one of my personal favorite starters, especially when it comes to the shiny, and just one of my overall favorite Pokemon. Oh my gosh, that was so fast. That was— how long was that? Like 2 minutes? Not even that? 1 minute? Yeah, that was some of the craziest luck I've ever had. Like, it was so fast, I was encountering it before my laggy Windows 3 brain could even begin to register it. But just add that to the list of reasons why Trico is one of the coolest Pokemon ever made. Editor Fargus here. If you thought 2 minutes was fast, try literally immediately. I didn't notice it, but I just saw that there was a shiny right when I started the Trico hunt. Like, I flew to the spot, saved, and there was already a shiny there, and I just missed it. A little sad about that, but you know what? I still got a shiny pretty quickly, so— anyways, on to the next hunt. After Trico, I decided to hunt Chespin next. And this one you just have to see to believe. Alright, Chespin hunt begins now. This one's gonna be easy too. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that is three in less than 10 minutes. That wasn't just 3 in less than 10 minutes, that was 3 in 6 minutes. Including the extra time spent with them breaking out of the quick balls, and me taking a second to look at where to find them. I honestly wanted more time to give Chespin some attention, cause bro definitely deserves it. But hey, I'm definitely not complaining, cause this insane luck had me feeling on top of the world. I was getting the craziest shiny luck imaginable, and with some of my favorite Pokemon. And there was no stopping there, with another one of my favorites, Grookey, being up next, who I already had some experience with hunting when I shiny hunted a bunch of monkey Pokemon. I had been hunting him up on this ledge, but once again, the shiny was kinda hard to spot with another green background and yet another slightly different shade of green shiny. But what I discovered this time was that you can actually hunt for him on this beach, albeit with a few blossoms around as well. But luckily for me though, I had an insane streak of luck on my side, and I found that shiny Grookey after only 5 minutes. Oh, that was fast. That was so fast. That was insane. I told you the sand was gonna be so much better than the grass. So much easier to spot that way. But I don't even know if this was luck. I mean, some people have even called me the Monkey Whisperer. I speak for the monkeys, and they say, Next up was Chikorita, who I was really dreading the hunt for because not only is Chikorita a relatively rare spawn, it's practically impossible to isolate, as there are tons of other grass types that spawn in the coastal biome. There were easier hunts I could do, but that would be wasting all the good luck I was currently having. It would be a lot better to use that luck on something I really needed it for. Oh my god! Oh my god! I thought I was gonna be here for ages. I'm the luckiest person in the entire world. The craziest part of this, there's a chance there wasn't even a shiny sandwich active when I found it. And if that was actually true, that's luckier than getting more than $10 back for trading in a game at GameStop. Wait, do they even do that anymore? Just go ahead and call me Unk in the comments. Next, I had to go ahead and make a whole grass power sandwich for the singular grass starter I had left. And I knew that it would end up being a waste of most of the sandwich, because I just knew that that shiny Rowlet would show up very quickly. That's how confident I was. And he did show up very quickly. Cool. Grass, all grass encounters, sub 2 hours. Sub 2 hours on all grass. He actually wasn't even the first shiny bird to show up. I found a shiny Braviary too pretty much immediately after my sandwich ended. Like, this was going so well, I was just finding extra shinies and without it feeling like it was getting in the way or hurting my time at all. By the time I found every shiny grass starter, I was just shy of 2 hours. So it stood to reason that I could finish this entire hunt in 6 hours. 2 for grass, 2 for fire, and 2 for water. Seemed like a simple enough and achievable goal. But let's just say, green is my lucky color. Not red or blue. Well, maybe except it would be red if you click that red subscribe button. I do lots of fun challenges like this, and shiny hunt a lot while live on YouTube and Twitch, so stick around if you want to see more stuff like this. I decided to hunt for the water types next, for no specifically good reason other than I just really wanted a shiny Mudkip. But before that, I was already in the savanna biome, so it made sense to go ahead and hunt for a shiny there. So I went after Sobble, and already it seemed like luck was just with the grass types, as it took me an entire 10 minutes to find a shiny Sobble. I mean, yeah, 10 minutes isn't that long, but might I remind you, him. And with that mostly and intentionally glossed over, it's time to hunt for the most beautiful baby burple nurple in the entire history of the Pokemon world, Toxel. I'm just kidding, it's Mudkip. Of course it's Mudkip. I already mentioned Mudkip. It's my beautiful baby burple boy. As you'd expect with this many spawns at the same time, in a cave that makes it pretty easy to get everyone to respawn, I was able to get this guy pretty quickly. There it is. There it is. I knew it was only a matter of time. I knew it was coming up. There we go. Can you throw the ball? Thank you. Look at that. Look at that. I'm wasting time. I'm wasting time, but I'm just reveling in this. And at this point, I only needed 2 more shinies to be officially halfway done with this challenge. Little did I know, I was about to hit the biggest roadblock of the challenge so far. And I emphasize, so far. I just want to make that distinction very clear. And that roadblock was the polar biome, where I hunted for Oshawott and Piplup. This hunt was a bunch of problems I'd already had, but this time they were actually proving to be real problems. Not just things I would think would be a problem and get lucky anyways, like had been the case with Chikorita for example. For one, the sandwiches also spawned a bunch of Dugong and Seal, and there was no way to separate them from Piplup and Oshawott. There was also no way to separate Piplup and Oshawott themselves, so I had to hunt for both at the same time. Then there was the issue of their shinies being what I'd describe as not so noticeable Nellies. And that especially goes for Seal, who obviously I wasn't hunting, but it's very possible that I found many shiny Seals during this time and never noticed a single one. And that could have been eating up all my shiny luck for the ones I was actually trying to get. All of this to say, all my luck and momentum came to a screeching halt at this point. It was so bad that I felt like I had to try something easier after 45 minutes of running in circles and getting absolutely nothing. So I tried to hunt for Froakie, who I figured would be easy since he had an active outbreak. But for some reason, even with this being an isolated hunt, I still wasn't able to find one. So I moved on to Squirtle, but no luck there, and then Totodile, no luck there either. Both of those were impossible to isolate. Nothing was working. So I had to take drastic measures. I just abandoned doing it by type and decided to hunt for some fire types I knew should be easy. Namely Litten. There's a million that spawn here, he's totally isolated, and best of all, he's impossible to miss. And even with all that, it was taking forever to find one. I got so impatient that I went over to a spot where I could hunt Tepig and Litten at the same time, where finally the shiny drought had come to an end. Oh, how? How did I find Tepig first? Wow. Okay, that's actually really good though. That's really good because I can't isolate Tepig nearly as well as I can Litten. The timer was around 2.5 hours when I found the last shiny. I didn't find my next shiny until almost 2.5 hours later. That was nearly double the time it took me to find every single grass starter, plus Sobble and Mudkip, just to finally get one more singular shiny. The goal of finishing this in 6 hours was now long gone, but getting another shiny meant there was still a glimmer of hope. And luckily, those glimmers just kept on coming, as I was able to find a shiny Litten just 7 minutes later. There it is. Okay, yeah, no, that would be impossible to miss. There is no possible way to miss that. Honestly, I still don't even consider myself that lucky on this. Like, I just feel like it should have been even easier. But nonetheless, we're going to have a positive outlook on this whole thing. For now. Next up, I hunted for Charmander, who I was able to find about 20 minutes later. I swear. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And part of that was a potty break, so it's actually better than it sounds. This put me over halfway through the challenge, which was a good sign that I was getting on a better pace than I'd been on. Ignoring the fact that 5 hours is half of 10 hours, so this was now projected to end after 10 hours. But glass half full. This is a good thing. But more than anything, it made sense to continue hunting the fire types, as it seemed like I was getting much luckier with them than I was with the water types. So I went back to the polar biome to hunt for Chimchar and Scorbunny. After only 7 minutes, I was able to find a Chimchar. Because I told you, I'm the monkey whisperer. What did you expect me not to find one? Oh, and he says, which translates to, you should subscribe. Unfortunately though, since I can't speak to shiny Scorbunny, I think he kind of missed the memo to show up to the function. Translation again, I didn't get one. However, being in the polar biome just kept reminding me of my demons I was running from. My very lovable, adorable, water-type demons. So I decided to face my demons head-on and hunt for them. This time resetting for an outbreak so I could further increase my odds, and also isolate them a little bit better. I got a Piplup outbreak, but even with this, that little stupid baby penguin was unrelenting. Almost an hour later, and still no shiny, putting me over the 6-hour goal I had initially set, and with 10 shinies still left to find. It came to a point where I really just needed to cut my losses and come back the next day refreshed and ready to keep on hunting. The next day didn't go much better. I went back to Squirtle, hoping to get it out of the way, knowing it would be really difficult, seeing as there are a million other water types that spawn with it, and even having an outbreak didn't really solve that issue. Of course, this was a self-fulfilling prophecy, as it took almost an hour and a half before the lore-accurate green turtle finally appeared. That's it, finally! Oh my gosh. Okay, finally! The drought has ended. Wanting something that should be a little easier, I went back to hunting Froakie, and almost immediately after getting to the coastal biome, I found a shiny. Gloom. I mean, hey, it's a good shiny, but as you can tell by my reaction, I wasn't exactly that excited for it. Oh my gosh, really? It's not the outbreak. And it's not the... Is this just... What is this? What's going on? The next shiny I got was also not the Froakie I was actively hunting for, but it was one that I was very excited to get. Poplio. There's no way. There's actually no way. We just... Let's go! Didn't even have to hunt that! The video's gonna be wrong. The title's gonna be wrong. I didn't hunt for Poplio ever. I just got one. Getting that shiny Poplio was the luckiest I had been in the past 6 hours of hunting. It was a light in the darkness, a breath of fresh air, a spark of hope. It was a good thing. About 20 minutes after that, I was finally able to actually find the shiny Froakie I had been looking for too. Finally! I thought it was a cottony for a second. And with that, I felt like I was beginning to actually make some decent progress again, and conquer my water-type demons. Not the really big bad ones, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. But that meant that the big bad ones were some of the only water starters left, so I went after them for a third time with a new strategy. I turned off the lights in my room. I felt like the bright lights were getting in the way of me seeing my screen good and spotting the shiny, so I turned them off. It sounds stupid, but you know what? It actually worked. There's no way! Dude, I just ran into it on accident. Guess I can turn the lights back on now. There be light and let there be shinies. Well, not really. It might have worked in some magic way, but it actually didn't help me spot the shiny at all. And not long after, it worked to help me finally find Piplup 2. Oh, that was so fast! Finally! Okay, the curse of the Piplup is also now gone too. Turning off the lights was such a good idea. After all that time, I conquered my demons. who even in the dark turned out to not be so scary after all. Moving on, I decided to go for the fire types that I hadn't hunted yet. First Fennekin and then Torchic. But after spending 30 minutes on each, I wasn't able to get a shiny of either. So I went back to Scorbunny, who proved that the polar biome wasn't quite as cursed as I thought it was. But that marked the final easy hunt, as the rest would be a lot more difficult to spawn and spot the shiny. After over 11 hours, it was down to the final 4. Fennekin, Torchic, Cyndaquil, and Totodile. Starting off with Fennekin, who I was worried about because it wasn't one that I could isolate. But despite that, I got lucky enough to find one only 15 minutes after Scorbunny. That's it? Oh, that's it? I knew, I was like, again, against all the odds. It wasn't a Magmar, it wasn't a Magby, it wasn't a Pyroar. Well, I guess we did get a Pyroar, but still, that's it. And that is where the good luck officially ended for this challenge. After this point, each shiny took several hours to find, spread across multiple months. I had other videos to work on and just general life stuff, so it was hard to fit in the time to spend multiple hours shiny hunting. The same day I got Fennekin, I spent about an hour and a half looking for Totodile, but with nothing to show for it except a shiny Blitzel for some reason, which is cool, but in this case, it was still a little annoying, as that set off the several month-long shiny drought where every few weeks I'd occasionally pop in for like 30 minutes to hunt for one of the 3, but mostly Totodile. The big problem with Totodile was just that he barely spawned even with the water power sandwich. It was impossible to isolate him from Bruxish and Dupiter. It was also seemingly impossible to get a mass outbreak for him. I even looked online and people were saying it was a possible bug in the game that they didn't make an outbreak for him or Cyndaquil. And I'll talk about Cyndaquil a lot more later, but man, did they do the Johto starters dirty in the Indigo Disc. They're impossible to hunt, and I really just got extremely lucky with Chikorita. Anyways, that Totodile process went on for a very long time, and was filled with shiny Bruxish instead, which is one of the worst Pokemon ever. I mean, the shiny is actually kinda good, but it's still infuriating how much it was getting in the way. Thank you, Bruxish. Very cool. After a while, I decided to hunt for Torchic instead. Torchic was a kind of funny process, as they only spawn in this one cave, so you have to reset the spawns with a picnic and sit in the corner while you watch 20 of them just materialize, and then reset once they stop spawning. Needless to say, I had to do this process quite a few times. And one fateful day, I guess I just got lucky on that one day because it was less than 5 minutes in that I was finally able to get my shiny Torchic. That's it! Let's go! Woo, okay. But unfortunately, no more shinies came that day, or for the next month. One day, while I stubbornly continued my quest to find Totodile, doing my millionth lap around this Arceus forsaken stinky doo-doo water pond, I finally found a shiny Bruxish. Oh my gosh. Well, that is a shiny. And it's again not the one I want. Is that one over there? I don't even care. I don't even care about this one. You're kidding me. Oh my god. No. That Totodile is going to despawn. How much you want to bet? I don't even think that one over there is shiny. It is! Oh! Oh my god! Finally! Finally! Oh my god! Okay. Holy! Oh, I wish I had saved. Please, Quick Ball, please. My heart is racing. There's 2 shinies on the screen right now. I don't even care about that Bruxish. I finally have the shiny Totodile. Oh my god, that's like 4 hours later. With that reaction, you'd think that it was the last shiny of the challenge. But no, we still have one more to go. Cyndaquil, who at the time of writing this script and recording it, still hasn't been found. But I have hunted for it for hours already, and it's even more brutal than Totodile. Hunting Cyndaquil is the same process as Torchic, but with way fewer spawns and way more inconsistent, as sometimes you can sit there for like a full minute and only get 2 Cyndaquil at a time. That's it! Finally! Oh my god! Oh, I'm saving the game. Oh, it's over! It's over! It's finally over! Let's go! Let's go! Shiny Cyndaquil! Okay. Apparently, I used my last Quick Ball. But you know what? That's okay. I don't even care. I just want this in the Master Ball so I can say, I have every shiny starter Pokemon that's available in the DLC. Oh, and we did it sub 20 hours. Sub 20 run. Let's go. Wait, I can. There we go. Okay. And now finally, I can move him over into the final slot of our chronologically ordered by how we caught them full box of shiny starter Pokemon. To end this all off, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. This was really cool. My favorite part of it was definitely the beginning with the grass starters, which is now like 3 or 4 months ago. But hey, comment down below what your favorite part was. Be sure to subscribe while you're at it, and I'll see you all in the next hunt. And don't forget, as always, to stay weird.